Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton. Welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you all here again. I want to just say that a couple of updates before I start this video. As of, now, that this channel has 690 subscribers, so wouldn't it be great to hit 700 sometime in the next fortnight? So don't forget to subscribe, because then you'll always be notified when I've put up a new video. Also, you're welcome to leave a comment, and certainly hit the like button if you like it, and by all means share my videos. Okay, so back to the topic of this video. So, is my world shrinking? Do our priorities change with age and circumstances? They're all things we ask ourselves at different stages in our life, not just in my case when I'm now in my early 70s, but, teens to 20s to 30s, 40s, 50s. There are significant stages in our life where we have to reevaluate many things. It can be about your personal growth, it can be about your job, it can be about where your location. There's many things we all adjust to, and in the process we have to offload some things. And so that's what I'm really going to talk about today in relation to things that I've experienced and had to alter. And I'm sure you all have a plethora of examples of your own that you can share. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear what some of you have done. So, our choices and our priorities certainly alter at different stages in our life, and certainly as we start aging, particularly that transition from full-time work to perhaps retirement, and sometimes in between. Like me, I retired in stages. I went from full-time to part-time, and then I eventually retired fully. So there are adjustments that we make, most of which are willing adjustments because our life and our needs change. But sometimes there's things that we do have to offload because of various reasons, some of which can be negative even. Now, I just want to talk about some examples of my own, and I'm sure you've all got your own to share. So our choices and priorities change with age. There's no doubt about that. And as most of my regular viewers would know, some time back, or not that long ago, I had a really nasty fall, and the worst one I've ever had. I am a bit prone to falls, and it really forced me, with the help of my very caring family, to reevaluate some things that I do and how I do it. And I can't do everything myself. And while that can be frustrating at times, because I'm the sort of person that says, I'm going to take all those curtains down this morning, wash them, and I'll have them up by lunchtime. Can't do it like that now. I've got to wait for a bit of help. Getting up on a ladder is a prohibition for me now, most of the time. So I just want to give you some examples here. One of the things that I had to really seriously address was my footwear. Now, at the risk of sounding like I was a little vain, I don't know, but I liked pretty shoes. Always loved pretty shoes. Even when I was a kid, I can remember, the shoes with the little bows and things on them. And of course, I did make some adjustments in later years and sort of stuck with something like this, Still a pretty shoe though, isn't it? It's got a sensible high heel on it, I thought. So I've had to get rid of that. But I just keep it. I just keep these shoes to look at to remind me how pretty they are. But the rest, they've gone. Then I thought, well, these are sensible because they're wedges, aren't they? And they're pretty too. And they're wedges. Well, I keep them just to look at too because they're pretty. If I'm sitting down, I might put them on. But certainly not for going out. Then I reverted to my favourites, my Western dress boots, because they were nice and supportive around my ankle, a little bit of a heel, which, was okay, but I was wearing them a fair bit and I thought, oh, gee, I'll have to try and get something else that I can wear that is equally supportive and sensible. And, these are all the fashion now with your denim skirts and all the cowgirls and old cowgirls. We wear them. But, wait for it, I actually had to go into something like this. There's a brand in Australia called Colorado, and these are ladies' boots. And so I thought I've got to have something for around the house and in the garden I can just pull on, And I haven't had them off my feet really, although I've got another pair in black now. And do you know what? They're so comfortable, I really don't care anymore. I only need 2 pair, brown pair and a black pair, and I can go anywhere. And my granddaughter tells me that that's all the fashion at the moment. So, hey, I'm, still got the fashion thing going. So this is an example of how we have to adjust. I mean, you'll all have a good laugh out of that, I'm sure, with the adjustment to footwear. I was not going into those old granny lace-ups, I can tell you. Not doing that. So I understand that this is quite humorous, the adjustment that I've made, and I can laugh at it and say, oh, what the heck, don't worry about it. I'm over it now. I'm comfortable. I'm safe. I'm sensible. But there are many other things that we adjust to as life progresses for us, or our circumstances might change. Things like, in my instance, I didn't put my phone in my pocket and take it every waking moment with me and sleep with it by my bed, but now I do. My granddaughter set up Siri, where you just talk a message to it, so now I do take it into the bathroom so that if I unfortunately did slip or anything, I can just speak to the phone that's sitting on the chair, things like this. So that's sensible. I have no right to put unnecessary concern or worry on my family through my misplaced independence, so shall we call it. So they are the sort of real life physical things that can happen to us. Again, I'm using myself as an example, but I'm sure you will relate to what I'm saying. Now we look into our social circles, don't we? I found that there were some groups that I just fell away from. And one in particular group, and my family have all heard this story, some of my friends, we used to meet about every 2-3 months occasionally and have a big old chat and, old friends and things like that, acquaintances. They weren't all best friends. And on one occasion, I went, originally I thought we'd be swapping stories about our grandkids and sharing photos and laughing about past experiences and, just having a bit of a blast. Oh, no, it didn't go that way at all. Let me tell you, the main topics of discussion were what medications they were taking, who the best doctor was to go to if you needed to put anything into your body or tighten anything on your body. Things like examinations and tests they've had, their health, their how, what they're going to next, and I've got medication to take. Now, I'm not ridiculing any of these things, but it came to be obvious to me that this group of women, I think every orifice of their body had had some sort of fibre optic examination for whatever reason. Most of the results were there was nothing to be found. So by this stage, as I drove away from that particular meeting or gathering, I remember thinking, what am I bringing home from this? I'm depressed. I'm not taking any medication to speak of. I'm not, I've got all my body parts. I haven't had any cosmetic interference or surgery or corrective thing. I don't belong to this group. I've got nothing to share or discuss with them. Do you ever find that happening to you, for whatever reason? I mean, I know that's a funny, extreme one that I have told you about, but do you find that the group that you did participate with now you're falling away from? Well, that's a reason for that, because we all change differently. As we were young and maybe work colleagues or whatever, there were different activities and priorities and interests in our life. And as we get older, some of us expand into other things, take up other interests. You work all your life, so you're looking forward to doing all those things that make you happy and help your family and, things you always wanted to do but couldn't do when you were working. Positive things, uplifting things, learning things. And so there are times when our social circles do considerably shrink, or we actually leave certain groups and think, well, I'd rather be doing something here, there, or somewhere else, and that's okay. That is okay. With me, I found that although my family was always my priority in that, but I was always working too. So now I had this marvellous luxury of being available for my family, to be able to do things for them, to spend time with the grandkids, do things for them, and still do. And so that's that lovely, nourishing grandma time for me. And I love that because there were so many times in the past I couldn't go to the grandchildren's functions at school, or even when my own sons were growing up, I had to miss a lot of things due to work. But now I don't have that obstacle. I can freely go and do these things. And I love it. I enjoy it. And the other thing that I really like is talking to young people. Young people keep you on your toes. Young people can inspire you and uplift you. We hear so much negative talk about young people, and I know there's some naughty ones out there. But I have to say, on the whole, all my grandson and granddaughter, their friends, they come, and often I've known their parents even in the past. And I enjoy chatting to them because they're positive, they're enthusiastic, they want to tell you what they're doing, they're excited about the next day, they've got a different job. They ooze enthusiasm when they speak, and I love that. I like to be around those sort of people. They inspire me. I learn from young people. They do things differently to how we've done them in the past. But that's not to say our way was the only way. They branch out the things they do with computers, even in the building industry and construction and things. It amazes me. It's brilliant. I get excited about those things. And so that is my main priority, my children and my grandchildren, and appreciating watching them grow up now. And you know, I don't get terribly offended. Sometimes they let some little things slip and I pretend I didn't hear it, or but you know, on the whole, I'm so blessed. That nourishes me, gives me enthusiasm and happiness, makes me smile. And you know, Billy, the oldest grandson, he's the youngest grandchild, I beg your pardon, Billy. He's the bush philosopher. He's the one that just, you know, had very few words and then sort of says, "Well, did that work?" Or, you know, he's like 100 years old up here. Real, you know, few words, but what he says is full of impact. And the oldest grandson, Ty, now he's a man of action. You know, when he has to do something, it's, you know, he calls me Christina at times. I know I'm wanted. Christina, I need this done. And, you know, people might think that's a bit disrespectful, but I know his verbal messages. I know, I understand what they mean. And he's a very loving grandson. You know, he has, underneath all that, he's, you know, he's a very sweet young man. But he's a man of action. He wants something done, he goes and does it, and blah, 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 blah. So everyone's different. And of course, my only granddaughter is she's the thinker and the moderator, you know. She's the one that sort of made me understand I had to be sensible about things after my fall. She has a way. She's just seeps in with comments and things that just, you know, yeah, she's a moderator. She's a how shall I say, a leveler, you know, sensible. So I'm very blessed and I enjoy those things, and I have time now to watch them go into different phases of their life. And so apart from all of this, we also have to realise that there are definitely physical changes we have to make in our life, and there are physical things that happen to us. We shrink. Just as some of our social circles are now shrinking and our groups of friends, also our body shrinks. I was never tall, but I'm certainly shorter than I was 10 or 15 years ago. I don't even make 5 foot now. My shoe size has become smaller. I've gone down a whole size. So everything, it's like Hashem is telling us, there's certain stages in your life where everything, you know, you have to throw out or draw back from things that aren't important, you know. So it's aging. It can be an absolutely wonderful change in your life, depending on your attitude and how you manage it, or it can be a real bitter experience. And some people, unfortunately, have that experience. I don't. I still love being around young people. I still understand that not everybody is the same and got the same likes and values. But hey, it all starts with listening to people, adjusting your own life where it is required, being sensible about things. So what is the take-home message from this video? Well, adjust gracefully. You'll fight it a bit to begin with, I know that. But you just get up one day and you think, oh, of course it's sensible. What am I, you know, of course, you know, look, I'm never going to wear these shoes again. I wouldn't be game to, but I just pull them out of the box every now and then and have a little touch and a look. But eventually they'll go too. So be gracious about it. Be thankful that you've got to an age and a stage in your life where you can voluntarily make changes to suit your health, your lifestyle. Because so many people, it happens suddenly. And it can happen to young people. There can be accidents, all sorts of things, and you have to change how you do things, how your life progresses. And I think the thing we need to understand that change is inevitable at various stages in our life. It can come through just moving from one place to another, change of jobs, etc. Change isn't a bad thing if it's change for the right reasons. Enjoy the blessings of each day that this change has brought. You know, be grateful for the good things, what you have, and surround yourself with those that matter in your life. Like I've said, your family. My priority is my grandchildren at the moment. Surround yourself and you've got all that love there that you can give them. So that's a blessing. That's something Hashem has given me, an opportunity for me. I'm so happy, so grateful to have that. And I think that we have to sort of make ourselves a little, how shall I say, a little motto or something. And I often say, you know, when you get used to understanding that not every comment requires a response and not every question needs to be answered, there are times when less is best. And that carries over into our physical life and our changing years and circumstances. So to wrap it all up, I would say less content, more quality. So think about your life and what are you hanging on to that really isn't that important? Like me with my shoes, you know, that was a big drama. I like pretty shoes. So what? Do you know what? Nobody walks around looking at my shoes and saying, did you see those shoes Chrissy had on? Most people wouldn't have a clue what I've got on my feet because they should be looking at my face. So there you go. It doesn't really matter. Be sensible, be gracious, embrace change, because if you learn to cast off what isn't important or which is superfluous or downright stupidity, it gives you more time and energy to focus on the things that really matter in your life. So, our priorities do change with age and circumstances, so embrace it graciously. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share my videos. Leave a comment. Love to always hear the things you have to say and let me know about changes you've made in your life. And the most important thing is to remember is to keep a sense of humour about everything. You know, God is in control. He's in control. We've got to learn to listen and adjust our lives accordingly at the right time. In the meantime, please take care and God bless you all.